New York Attorney General Letitia James has been indicted by the DOJ for mortgage fraud. Some say this is President Trump seeking revenge on his enemies. I say it ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about New York Attorney General Letitia James being indicted for mortgage fraud. I say it is about time, finally. There does not appear to be several tiers of justice, because if you or I do what she allegedly did, which we'll get to in a minute, we would get charged. But because she did it, it's not really a big deal. Furthermore, isn't this the exact same thing she said President Trump did? Actually, it's even worse. All Trump did was just say, hey, my properties are worth X. And then the bank said, okay, we agree, and we're going to give you a loan. Letitia James said that he intentionally overvalued his properties to get a loan he shouldn't have gotten. Like, how does that make any sense? And he's got to pay $500 million? Makes no sense. What she did was basically lie about her primary residence. I saw that house you lied about, allegedly, Miss Letitia James. Norfolk, Shoot Park, for real? You making your 6-7 figures live out there? Ain't no way. I'm from that neck of the woods in Virginia. I know that neighborhood. You're not going to live out there. This, in my opinion, is a clear case of mortgage fraud. Now, before I go any further, let's get to the news clip here. Of course, I will link to everything in the box if you want to see it and hear it without my commentary. If you're on IG, Facebook, etc., visit a link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Tonight, New York's Attorney General Letitia James indicted by a federal grand jury, a dramatic escalation against another longtime foe of President Trump. Just weeks ago, he called for James's prosecution after lambasting her for years.
You have an attorney general who's a total stone cold crook, New York State, Letitia James, a total crook.
Tonight, she faces charges of bank fraud and lying to a financial institution, prosecuted by the same office in Virginia that brought the case against former FBI Director James Comey last week. James saying tonight she did nothing wrong, and this is payback.
These charges are baseless, and the president's own public statements make clear that his only goal is political retribution at any.
Public statements? Okay, Letitia James, we'll talk about that, because Trump has said some things, but so have you. And the internets never forget.
It cost.
Interim U.S. Attorney Lindsay Halligan saying in a statement, no one is above the law. The charges, as alleged in this case, represent intentional criminal acts and tremendous breaches of the public's trust.
Oh, ABL, they're saying the same thing that she said, no one's above the law. Well, is that a true statement or a false statement? I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. Is it a true statement or a false statement?
The indictment alleging James falsely represented a home in Virginia was her secondary residence to get better loan terms, while in fact, prosecutors say she intended to rent it out as an investment property. But the top prosecutor in the district was ousted late last month after he concluded there was not enough evidence to charge Comey or James. She became a prime target of the president after successfully suing Trump, his sons, and his namesake company with fraud, securing a $500 million civil judgment against his real estate empire last year. But some Republicans always viewed the case as political, and that eye-popping penalty was recently overturned on appeal as...
Of course it was political, because what he was hit with, what he was accused of, is nothing. How are you going to say I overvalue my own properties and somehow that's a penalty, whether it be civil or criminal?
Excessive.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated.
All right, there we go. That's NBC News. Now, let's go back to 2020. This is Letitia James bragging about going after Trump, bragging about getting Trump, vowing to get Trump. Again, this is 2020 on The View.
You also intend to prosecute him after he is out of office, correct?
Joy, again, our investigation currently is civil in nature. It is not criminal. In the event that we uncover any activity or conduct, If in the event that we
all the smiles, all the laughing, because they like what she is talking about. They like the fact that she's going to go after Trump. Okay. After he's out of office, because again, this is in 2020. So this is his first term going into Biden. They had all the intentions in the world of trying to lock Trump up, of trying to drain his resources so he would not be able to run again. It didn't work.
cover any conduct.
Suits.
Oh, yes.
But will you go ahead with
our
the civil suits?
Yes, our civil suit will continue, whether he's president or not. And so after January 20th at 12 o'clock, our investigation will continue, Joy.
There we go. So big smiles. Yay, we're going to get Trump. We're going to get him. Yay. Okay. It ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. Let's keep on going. This is going to be Anderson Cooper in present day 2025. For some reason, is that Mr. Tubin right there? I don't know why he's still on TV. They can't find any other legal expert. Is he the only guy they can bring on? I mean, goodness gracious. But let's get to what he said. Anderson Cooper did not think Letitia James's approach on a situation was very intelligent. Let's check it out.
The system is not supposed to work.
Jeff, I mean, according to PolitiFact, the day after she was elected in 2018, Letitia James was asked by a community activist if she was going to sue President Trump. And she replied, quote, "Oh, we're going to definitely sue him. We're going to be a real pain in the ass. He's going to know my name personally." I mean, that's not a great look for somebody who has just been elected or just been campaigning, who hasn't even looked, I guess, at deeply at any evidence.
Well, that's, you know, that we live in a...
Exactly. Anderson Cooper is right on point. And Jeffrey Toobin is perplexed. Hey, Toobin, stay on camera. Don't do nothing off camera. Just stay right here and focus on the question, okay? Because I know how you like to be, but anyway.
System where attorneys general and district attorneys in the United States, unlike almost any other country, are elected officials, are politicians. So they run for office making political statements. That's how our system works. It's not pretty. I don't think it's a great system, but there's nothing uncommon about it. The other point.
Now, the other point, before you get to that, Mr. Toobin, so you're saying that she was just talking. It's not really nothing, right? I'm just political statements. I'm just trying to get elected. I'm not really serious. Okay. So then when Trump actually was found liable, convicted, whatever you want to call it, and got to pay $500 million, was that just political blustering? Were you just trying to get elected and stay in office by doing that? I'm just trying to understand what's going on, Mr. Toobin.
To make, though, is just because she made inappropriate comments, that doesn't mean she should get indicted for fraud years later. I mean, we're not supposed to live in a system of that kind of tit for tat. Criminal cases are supposed to stand or fall on their own merits.
David, I mean, there's no evidence that Letitia James's indictment stems from some widespread audit of thousands of mortgage applications.
There we go. So look, is it tit for tat, or is there something here? Is there a there? That's the question. And from what I've read, it looks like there is. And if there's not, then there can't be anything that Trump did wrong. Now, this is going to be CNN again. It's an interesting difference in the coverage, depending upon who it favors or who it doesn't favor.
Did acknowledge that there could have been a mistake on his financial statement when it came to the value of his Trump Tower apartment, but he said that's why his statements included disclaimer clauses. Quote, "There's a disclaimer clause where you don't have to get sued by the Attorney General of New York." Is that in any way a legitimate defense?
No, and the judge already found it wasn't. The judge said, listen, you just can't offer miscalculating or wrong and misleading and fraudulent information and then say, wait, just kidding, do your own due diligence here. You have to be able to rely on what's actually being said. So the judge already resolved that issue. Now, what he's trying to do, though, is suggest, and you can't have both worlds, Jake. He can't on the one hand say he's in control of everything, on the other hand say, look, everyone else told me this and I handed it over and delegated. Both can't be true on a fraud trial.
So basically, Trump is saying, well, there may be some discrepancies. It might not be totally accurate. And I'm going to put that disclaimer right there in the documentation. So you can't say that I was trying to engage in fraud if there is a slight discrepancy on the value or whatever it is. Now, the lady right here is saying, well, that can't be the case. You can't just tell them, do your own due diligence. It has to be right. And we got to rely upon what you say on the paper. Now, let's see if they say the same thing about Miss James.
Have to prove that it's done knowingly. And so
so if it's a mistake, that's actually relevant criminally. It has to be, if it is a mistake and the person says, look, it's obviously a mistake, here's evidence it's a mistake, then you can't prove intent, and that's important.
They've acknowledged, Letitia James seems acknowledged, there was an error on a power of attorney form. They would try to argue that that was no intent of wrongdoing if she was presenting throughout, and the bank itself did not feel it was defrauded because they had the correct information despite one false document.
Well, Jake,
so look, so it's fine when Letitia James makes mistakes or errors in her documents because the bank gonna know everything is okay. But when Trump writes in documentation, it might not be totally accurate, and it's not totally accurate depending upon who is looking at it. That's a problem. That's an issue. Make it make sense. At this point, as I close, I'm going to say this. We all know how these people operate, how the mainstream media does, how the left-wing politicians do. This is of no surprise. Okay, if Trump makes any kind of mistake, any kind of, if he doesn't dot every I and cross every T, if he is thought to have not dotted every I and crossed every T, throw him in the penitentiary, big rocks, little rocks, make her pay $1 trillion. Letitia James apparently engaging in mortgage fraud, talking about her second residence, primary residence, whatever it is in Norfolk when it's not, to get a favorable loan. That's okay. Oh, she made a mistake. It was an accident. It was a noopsie. This is ridiculous. But as I close, I want to say this. If Letitia James should not be indicted, then Trump shouldn't have been indicted. Then Trump shouldn't have been hit with the civil case, having to pay $500 million, having to appeal it and having to get it overturned. He should not have been gone through he should have not gone through the court process for all that time during the campaign if what she did is not anything to charge. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your opinion about Letitia James being indicted by the DOJ for mortgage fraud? Is it revenge from President Trump? Is it a thing that makes sense? Is it what needs to happen? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. It's really simple. If she shouldn't be charged, then Trump shouldn't have been charged. Then Trump shouldn't have gone to court and had to battle all this stuff with the real estate prices being overinflated. He shouldn't have gone through any of that if she should not be charged right now. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.